Ladies and mostly gentlemen, today, by popular vote, we're going to be exploring some of the maps that are linked with the unlock scenario for the Void Elves, who if you didn't know are a brand new allied race making their way to the Alliance towards the end of patch 7.3.5? I mean, Battle for Azeroth, of course. 100% Battle for Azeroth. So each of the new 6 ally races will have some unlock requirement and a fun little questline which will bring them into the story of WoW and will set you up for joining their respected factions. I would assume we need to have the unlock requirements first before being able to partake in the scenario. For the Void Elves, you're going to need to be exalted with the Argusian Reach and have completed the You Are Now Prepared achievement, which is the achievement for completing the Argus storyline, which are 2 things that you can actually do in the live game right now. So go and complete that Argus storyline and then go and complete those 3 repeating Argusian Reach world quests for the rest of your life until you get exalted. Right, so now onto the quality content. So most of what I'm going to say and show you is not 100% complete, so take it all with a grain of salt. They are literally making changes constantly to the PTR. In fact, there's actually been 3 patches in 3 days, so we're playing with moving targets here. Nonetheless, the backbone is mostly here, and we can kind of piece together how it all goes down. So a special thanks to the guys over at Wowhead for putting this in a nice readable order. The game files aren't the best things to try and work out, so it's great that you can get this stuff organised so fast. So the background to this unlock scenario goes as follows. The Void Elves are first introduced in the Nightborn story. Illyria visits Silvermoon City, hoping to convince the Blood Elves to join the Alliance. They reject her offer, and Illyria asks to pay pilgrimage to the Sunwell before leaving. However, the presence of the Void makes it unstable, a danger that Lord Theron is very aware of. And then some stuff happens, and then Illyria is sent back to Stormwind. So in the game files, I found 3 maps that were related to the dialogue text from Wowhead. These are Sunwell Unlock Scenario, which is obviously the Sunwell, Void Elf, which is known as the Shadow of Azeroth, and Void Elf Hub, which is Telogrus Rift. So that final one might actually end up being an area for Void Elf players to congregate, similar to a monk or death knight, but obviously for a whole race instead of a class. So let's take a look at each of these maps and see what treasures we can uncover. So for the Sunwell map, we're just going to breeze through this. Nothing you haven't seen before, just the same Sunwell from the Burning Crusade raid, and obviously it'll be a little bit busier when you see this at game, with Blood Elves, Nightborn and Illyria hanging around it. So next up, let's take a quick trip around the Shadow of Azeroth map. Some of you may actually recognise this. Okay, so this area has actually been in the game since vanilla and is unofficially known as Northern Lordaeron. It's an unnamed closed zone on the northwest border of the Eastern Plaguelands. It's actually a brand new map ID for this zone, and obviously the water is a little bit bugged around the area, but normally it's surrounded by ocean. There is one structure here that is a Night Elven building which can also be found in Darnassus and Teldrassil, but some speculation on this zone states that this could have been an area for the High Elves before building their own culture of Quel'Thalas. Now the reason I think they're going with this zone in particular is due to its location. As I said, it's on the north border of Eastern Plagueland, which is here on the map, which would make it the first non-horde zone you run into if you're sailing away from the Sunwell, like at the beginning of the scenario. Right, so now onto Telogrus Rift. This one is by far the most interesting and poses the most questions for sure. So let's do a quick flyover and we'll see if we can work out what actually happens here. So firstly, this zone wins the award for the most void zone in WoW. Nothing can top the amount of purple that's gone into this zone. They definitely went all out with making this as voidy as possible. The zone does actually feature a working map with 3 unique looking islands with a few random rocks floating around as well. The skybox is also really impressive, featuring this purple void planet which we have previously seen in Antorus. As for the location in the real world, I honestly have no idea. I'm sure someone with more lore knowledge than me, like Noble or Pyromancer, could probably work this one out, but as of right now, I honestly have no clue. All I know is that it's a really cool area, and I really hope this actually does become some sort of race order hall for them. It would be awesome to see a ton of Void Elves all hanging around this area, talking about the latest metal tracks and who's wearing the tighter jeans. So that's pretty much all I've got for the unlocked scenario maps for the Void Elves. I do have a pretty good time trying to figure out what on earth happens in these scenarios. And currently on the PTR, there are 4 scenarios that we can explore. So let me know down in the comments section which area you'd like to see me explore and speculate over next. Also let me know what your thoughts are on these scenarios and whether I'm missing anything really obvious, which I normally do. So before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons and YouTube sponsors. You guys are awesome. And if you'd like to support the channel in that way, links are down below. So leave a like on this video if you liked it guys, and subscribe if you haven't. Also, come join us on the Discord channel, the link is in the description. And with that, I'll see you next time.